We conducted an interview today, what we think is the most plausible explanation for what happened with MH370, pilot suicide, where the pilot decided he was going to kill everyone on board, got out of the other pilots left the cockpit. This bloke's shut the cockpit off, depressurised the rest of the cabin, and then taken it on that long trip, and eventually maybe landed it, glided it, it's sunk, and that's the end of it. Now, we may never know, because we may never find this plane. It may not be found for decades.
But it's certainly the most plausible explanation I think you and I have heard so far, and we've spoken to a lot of people about what may have transpired on that flight. And there have been, hundreds now of theories, conspiracy theories emerging on the internet everywhere. The plane was hijacked. It's actually sitting on a tarmac in Afghanistan somewhere under camouflage. But this is the most logical one. And I think the point they were trying to make is there is no real screening process for mental illnesses in the aviation industry. So there have been 5 incidents in the last at least in the last decade, where we've seen hundreds of people die because pilots have deliberately crashed the planes that they are flying. And there is a very easy mechanism by which they do it. They depressurise the cabins where all the passengers are. They can simply lock the cabin to keep the co-pilot out. So there are now calls for the airline industry to sort of re-examine the way that they have all of these security issues and prevent one single maverick pilot from taking control of a flight and crashing it.
I think that's a really important issue, because when you get on a plane, you can't see where you're going, you've got no idea, you're putting your life literally in the hands of the person flying it. I think they need to look at this very, very urgently, and it's intriguing and interesting, and there's so many conspiracy theories, but we've had today from a senior police officer in Indonesia a suggestion that they know what happened. They're not saying what it is. And you wonder whether this is where they're heading as well, but they don't want to talk about it.
And also search authorities, led by the Australian search team, now have sort of located at least 15 to 20 sort of objects that they think they need more examination on the seabed floor, up to 3 or 4 kilometres down. So hopefully within the next month or two after this mapping exercise finishes, and they're discovering things all the time. They've just discovered 2 new volcanoes that they never thought existed on the seabed surface. So hopefully we will have a much greater insight into this disappearance.
And the one thing we can say, and I'm speaking as a layperson here, is that you wouldn't be able to rig the black box. So if he has done this and the plane is intact at the bottom of the ocean and they find that black box, the black box would tell us exactly what happened.